Well, hello there. We're live. And today I want to focus this live on a very important topic. If you're living with MS, I want you to ask yourself the question, what what is it that you are avoiding that would benefit you the most? What is it that you are avoiding that would benefit you the most? I know it's kind of a crazy question, right? But it's an important question because if we don't ask ourselves the question, how do we thrive with MS? How do we thrive with MS? I'm Jenda Tracy, the founder of Women Thriving with MS. And in this video, I'm going to share 5 simple ways that you can solve this problem, that you can reduce that stress and overwhelm that comes to you when you know there's something that's going to serve you best in your life, but you're avoiding it because it feels so daunting and you don't know how you're going to get started. It's okay. We're going to cover that in these 5 steps today, simple steps. So if you haven't been here before, be sure to subscribe, press that subscribe button. You can also do a thumbs up. Thank you for the first thumbs up. I'm loving it already. Awesome. Excited. And we're going to do a breakdown here. I'm going to take you through the whole process. And this process is really, we'll break it down to something simple. So first of all, I want to give you an analogy to something. I don't know if you've ever heard of a pressure cooker. I grew up with them. Like my mom used to use it to cook all the time, and it's a big pot, and you throw everything in, whether it be a soup or a stew or a chili or whatever that might be, and then you clamp a big lid on that has a big seal around it. And then you turn on the stove, and well, before you do that, you put a little top on it because there's an air pressure valve where all the pressure from inside that pot is pushing its way out through this little nozzle, pushing the air out. And you put a little metal thing on top, and when the ingredients in the pot start boiling and cooking, then that little thing goes, the steam is pushing it and moving it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that helps you to know that it's doing its job. And then when you shut off the stove, you don't open that pot until that little thing has stopped going like this. Otherwise, it's going to be like this, which would be a disaster, food in your face. The reason why I bring that up is because I think that when we ask ourselves this question, what is it that you're avoiding right now that will benefit you the most or could benefit you the most while living with multiple sclerosis? The first thing that may happen to you is your heart might start beating fast, or you might start having sweaty palms, or you might just shut off emotionally because it seems like a lot when you're already dealing with the layer of MS in your life. But when we can follow a simple process, it makes a big difference. So I'll tell you the first step. We'll go into step number 1, which is when you feel that overwhelm, that stress, that place where you feel paralyzed. You want to embrace that, right? You want to embrace that feeling. You want to identify it. So if you're feeling stressed, say, hey, I'm feeling stressed right now. That's what's going on for me. Or I feel really overwhelmed, or I feel like this is impossible. And that really creates fear for me. I feel discouraged. Just acknowledging that is a great first step. So that's all you have to do, is that step number 1, acknowledging that feeling. Then the second step in this process is to do some breathing, and I actually call this the 4-6-8 breathing process, the 4-6-8 breathing process. So what that involves is you're going to breathe in. I'll demonstrate in a sec for you. Breathe in for 4. So you're going to breathe in, and while you're breathing in, you're counting 1, or you can 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're holding it Hold, hold, hold. You're holding it for the count of 6. So you're breathing in for 4. You're holding it for the count of 6, which I can't do while I'm talking to you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're letting it out. I like to let it out through my nose. So, but I'll just do the example through my mouth. So on the count of 8. So you see like about 8 counts. So I do that through my nose though. I would go okay, I can't do this on camera. It's too hard, but basically I'm breathing out for 8. What we do is when we're breathing, we're calming our nervous system. We're telling this little place up here in the penthouse suite, our brain, that we want to create this level of calm in our system. And I would recommend doing that 4, 6, 8 breathing 3 times, minimum 2 to 3 times. So, step number 1 is acknowledging your feeling of overwhelm, stress, anxiety, disappointment, fear, whatever that is for you. The second is to do the 4, 6, 8 breathing technique, breathing in for 4, holding your breath for 6 counts, and breathing out for a nice long 8 counts. Then you want to ask yourself the question again, what is it that I am avoiding now that I could do, that I could do that is going to benefit me most? That's an important question because once you ask that question, you can identify it. Now, maybe from the beginning you've identified it, maybe you don't feel stressed, and maybe you want to skip those first steps, but they're kind of fun to do anyway. And once you've identified what that is for you, then it's much easier to move forward. So I'm going to give you an example. So I've been thinking about doing some weightlifting, right? I know I need to. I'm getting to that age where I need to do some strengthening of my body. And my upper arms have never been strong even before I was diagnosed with MS. So this is not like a new thing. And I'm not really big in terms of going to the gym. So I know that about my personality. I'm not going to be heading out to the gym, living with MS and fatigue. It takes a lot of extra energy, right? So that's not going to work for me. But what I do know is that I can do something. So last month, I talked to my mom. I said, hey, you've got these weights, these 3 pound and 5, no, I think it's like a 5 pound and 8 pound weights, and you're not using them. Can I have them? And she said, yes, thankfully. Thanks, mom, for those weights. And so now I have those weights. So that was kind of like the first step. I didn't have something like that before. But now I'm in that place where those weights are sitting on my floor in my gen den, right here in my gen den, and nothing's happened with them yet. And my plan is this is that once I know that I want to do that, I need to ask myself the question like, why is this important to me? Why is this important to me? Because if we don't know why that one thing that we're avoiding that could benefit us is important to us, then we're not really locked into motivation, right? If you're not motivated, then you're not going to do it. So when I ask myself, why is it important for me to start lifting weights? Well, number one, because I want to remain physically strong. Secondly, I think it will help build my confidence. When you do something that feels good and it helps your body, then or some other aspect of your life, it can often build confidence. Also, I want to be able to focus on self-care. And I know that part of self-care is my body. And I think that I'm just going to overall feel better about myself. I might even be able to sleep better. Supposedly, weightlifting can be really great for the neocortex of the brain and brain development. So, and that never changes. We can continue to improve the abilities in our brain by doing certain activities. So that really gets me excited. So ask yourself, once you've identified in step number 3 what that is that you are avoiding that you want to do, then ask yourself, why is it important to you? And really lock into that. For me, when I lock into what's important to me, I'm way more motivated to make it happen. So that's why that is key. And then the fifth step in the process is a very important step, and that is breaking it down into a what I call a micro action. A micro action means that it's a very small action that you're going to take. It's easy, it's doable, um, and for example, for me, what I am going to do is I'm going to book an appointment with my physiotherapist because he's done exercises with me in the past. However, I didn't have weights, so I was using one of those stretchy band things, and those can break. I mean, they're great for certain exercises, but mine broke. And of course, then that was it, right, for the exercises. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 5 pound and 8 pound weight to my physiotherapist, and I'm going to get him to show me the exercises. But that's a whole pile of steps, right? The first step, the very first step in that process is booking the appointment. Now, if I book the appointment, the likelihood of me going is going to be like tons higher, right? Mucho higher. It's going to be a lot higher because now not only have I made a commitment to myself, but I'm committed to somebody else. And that makes a big difference. So, whatever that first step is for you, the question is, how can you take that, just the very first piece of that micro step? So, for me, the first step is to book the appointment. And then once I've booked that appointment, the next step will be to go to that appointment, right? So both those steps are really easy, but I would just focus locking in on that very first step for you. So let's go back through the process here. So when you ask yourself the question, what am I avoiding that could benefit me the most? When you get clear about that, um, uh, then you've got it made, right? But let's just say that what happens when you ask yourself that question is that all of a sudden you feel anxiety, dread, frustration, anger, sadness, stress, right? Overwhelm. Then you need to just sit with that for a moment and just allow that to be there. We have this feeling that when we allow a feeling to come towards us, that it's going to get worse. But actually, what I have discovered is that when you bring that feeling in, you actually feel a lot better because you're allowing it to be there. So I would just say something like, okay, I'm noticing that I'm feeling overwhelmed right now around this idea. And then you're going to go right away into step number 2, which is you're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 6, and breathe out for 8. And do that at least 2 to 3 times. We're trying to calm the nervous system because when your nervous system is calmer, you can think more clearly. And that's what we're looking for here. Then you want to identify what is that one thing going to be that you're avoiding that will benefit you the most. So for me, it's going to be weight training on my arms, upper body. And then once you've identified that, then you want to ask yourself the question, why? Why is this important? Why is this important? Getting really deep into what would be the benefits of that? Why is it important to you? And then lastly, that first action that you're going to take. So let's just suppose somebody they wanted to avoid sugar in their diet. And I noticed they have some big resistance towards that, like big resistance. So what are they feeling? Maybe they notice they're feeling anxious because they're feeling some loss, or they're feeling stressed because they don't know how they're going to do it. So just acknowledging that, doing the breathing exercise, then identifying, okay, so yes, I really want to do this, and asking the question, well, why? Why do I want to avoid sugar? Well, let me see. Like, maybe it's because I know of other people that have done that and have more energy. Maybe it's because I've noticed that when I eat a lot of sugar, I feel more tired, or I have physical pain, or I feel really great, but then I crash out and I can't function, whatever that might be, right? So then why is it important to you? Well, I don't want to feel that way, right? I don't want to feel like I'm crashing out after I eat sugar. I don't want to feel that that I have less energy, or that I've got more brain fog, or that I'm experiencing more pain. I want to feel less pain. I want to feel more energy. I want to be able to be present with others that I'm around. I want to feel healthier in my life. Whatever that is for you that you're identifying. And then around the sugar, it's like, well, what is the first step? Well, the first step might be to remove the items from your house that have sugar in them, if that's possible, or put them away in a cupboard someplace, so that they're not in view. That could be just the very first step. And that's what we're looking at here, is micro actions are a quick, relatively easy action to take that you can do and realistically commit to. And that's the first thing. And then, if from there, you'll focus on, then after that, what is the next step I'm going to take? Now that I booked the appointment, or I put the sugar items on, up in a high cupboard, or I had someone else do that, or I've gotten rid of them. Um, and then you can go from there. But it's all about taking that first action and feeling motivated to do so. Now, because stress and overwhelm is a human condition, we all have it. It exists in our life. It's not going to completely go away. The key that we can do is to reduce the amount of stress that we have in our life. And starting next week, I am offering a free event on discovering 4 ways to reduce stress. I'm going to be introducing you to the MS release stress process. And you can register for that event. There is a link in the description below. So if that interests you, there are limited seats available. So if you want to, I'd register. And the reason why I need you to register is because I want to know how many people are coming. Now, this event is specifically for women that are living with MS. Women that are living with MS. That is a criteria for this 4-part series, and it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited because this is the first time that I'm sharing all of this information during this coaching series. So you'll meet other women living with multiple sclerosis. It will be on Zoom, and you can see all the details below. So grab your free seat, claim your free seat. It's an online event. So no matter where you are on the planet, you can be a part of it. All right. And again, it's specifically for women who are living with MS. I'm Jenda Tracy. I'm the founder of Women Thriving with MS. Again, if you want to subscribe so you can get other videos from me, and I look forward to meeting you. All right. See you soon. Bye.